Welcome everybody to the Nexus Gaming Series Division D West final match for tonight on our second game of doubleheader. Coincidentally, Boogan Squad, we're following them around tonight. If you didn't catch it, Boogan Squad just played against Asmo Carry in an epic battle between the two teams, and Asmo Carry did successfully beat Boogan Squad in a 2-for-1 best-of-3 matchup. Just a quick look at these standings before we hop into this game. Let me highlight these teams for you. We've got Boogan Squad sitting up there at the top. Oh no, my stuff didn't update. Well, let me update that real quick. So Boogan Squad has 23 points. Asmo Carry also has 23, which, thanks to their win, puts them in first place. So I've updated that. Then we have Stranger Pings coming in currently at 7th. Now, Stranger Pings, I believe, still has one other match that they're going to try to get onto the schedule here, hopefully very soon. That is a hint at you guys if you haven't figured out a way to get that done yet. So they could potentially see as many as 20 points, pushing them up maybe as high as 4th place. Pigeon Stitches does still have some maps to play, so we'll see how that goes. But Boogan Squad, this is their last match to play. They could end up with as high as 26 points, which would pretty well solidify them in first place. But they could stay in 23, and if they stay in 23, if they lose this 2-0 to Stranger Pings, then Asmo Carry will succeed on that first place. Although there is, I believe, again, 2 matches for Pigeon Stitches, so they could also overtake first place with the right win combinations. So lots going on in Div D West this weekend. Hopefully we'll get all of those results and the playoffs bracket early in the evening tomorrow so we can get this done. I believe both teams are ready to go. Just confirming. And we're going to get into this. While I get this confirmation, I'm going to show you this NGS Patreon video because we want to have as many of you picking up these Patreon rewards as possible in supporting NGS. All right, just a quick overview at what we're looking at here. So for the map bans, we have Sky Temple was banned out by Stranger Pings. Tomb of the Spider Queen was banned out by Boogan Squad, and we are not going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. I don't know why I put that on there. We are, in fact, going to Infernal Shrines. And Infernal Shrines was picked by Stranger Pings. So we did just have a 3-series game that started on Infernal Shrines. I don't know if Stranger Pings was watching that series or not, but Boogan Squad had a little bit of a struggle in there. That first game did go over to Asmo Carry, but we'll see. Maybe they watched that game and thought, hey, we can do that too. And bans coming out left and right. Maybe they were watching it because that Kerrigan was a monster. Unsuccessful on the map on that Volskaya game, but ultimately was still quite the pain in the neck to deal with. And we are seeing the Brightwing Imperius out of bans for Boogan Squad, followed up by Kael'thas. So once again, that Kael'thas providing some zoning, some good damage. And you know what? Even just the threat of a bomb spread provides you with some, maybe not pressure, but it means that the other team has to spread out. They cannot just stand there and hope that they'll make it through everything. And a Nubrak coming in. I don't think we've seen him since the first match of last game. And it was on the other team. Gul'dan being able to clear the shrines very quickly, so Ghost is going to pick that up. Raynor is going to be played by Wesley. As a side note, because it's 10:30, I'm going to say this, and I don't even care. I've been watching the Star Trek TNG lately. So I got to tell you that I appreciate the Wesley. I don't even care if that's a reference. I'm going to tell him to shut up anyways. I hope they take a silence so that I can tell him to shut up, Wesley. I hope that happens. So Jaina coming in on the on Mantis. Alex Straza going to be played by Tom Peace. So Alex, they did just play 2 games with Alex. They were very successful in Volskaya with it, and a little bit less so on the Alterac Pass game. And Junkrat being banned out, pretty reasonable. And Johanna being banned out from Boogan squad. Kind of fun to see that, because Johanna was just banned out from against them by Asmo carry the whole time. So a little bit of a script flipping going on here, as we get the instantly timed lock on the Garrosh and Rhaegar. All right, guys, slow down a little bit here. I gotta type this stuff into these points here. Michael's playing the Arthas and the Phoenix, so we've got that combination for the Purification Salvo coming out of both Arthas and Jaina. The big slows there. We have Shrine Clear coming out of Jaina and out of Phoenix. The Alex Straza Dragon going to provide some value there as well. A Kimbo on the Garrosh. I forgot to put them in on this side, so let me put those in. And Moosebrow with that Rhaegar. And here comes the Tyrael, looking to maybe get that Sanctification to help prevent that big burst of damage out of the Jaina Phoenix combo. Or I suppose he could go Judgment. I think Judgment might be a little questionable. If he tries to Judgment in on that Alex Straza, then you got a bad day. So I think this is going to be a Sanctification. Anything else that we see? I don't expect to see a Bloodlust out of this. I would expect to see the Ancestral. No real negative healing on that side. So in any case, we're going to get this match going. Best of 3 between Stranger Pings and Boogan Squad. And once again, shout out to your team. Who are you here to support? Are you here for Stranger Pings, the blue team, or Boogan Squad, the red team? Let's get our introductions done. We're going to start on the red side because I'm here, getting a few sprays out of the way here. We have Michael playing that Arthas. Jaina's going to be played by Mantis. The Tom Peace is going to be on Alex Straza. Campbell's, well, I'm going to say Campbell's, Phoenix, and Bummernut on the Nubarak. And that is your Boogan squad. Coming up for Stranger Pings, we've got Ghost 4444 playing Gul'dan, Moosebrow on that Rhaegar, Cadet Legend's going to be on Tyrael, Akimbo's going to be on the Garrosh, and Shut Up Wesley is going to be playing Raynor. Let's pop up these first level talents here just to give you a quick overview of what we're dealing with. So far, nothing really that seems out of the ordinary. Once again, seeing that increased range on the Garrosh throw instead of Groundbreaker. Interesting. A little bit of a skirmish in the middle here. Garrosh is going to throw a Nubarak, but he's going to just burrow charge out. Just baiting that out. He wants you to throw him. You're not getting any value out of that. And a little bit faster just for this Phoenix in this bot lane, but it is a 4v3 as there is the heavy toss on the Phoenix, but he will warp away. And Nubrak's going to go back into the mid lane, try to soak that up here. In the top lane, we see a little bit of just a back and forth between a couple of good old boys with the Arthas and Tyrael. You know, if not for this skin, I would say good versus evil, but it's not quite there. And Nubrak's going to get the burrow charge out. He doesn't care about that slow, even that corruption barely doing anything to him. And it looks like, yeah, Boogan's going to go ahead and come over here, get their camp started, get this XP. Now, Akimbo is close, so if this Phoenix rotates down, or if this Jaina or Alex rotates up, they could see themselves in a very bad position. Unfortunately, Akimbo's just not patient enough. He's going to go ahead and come down here and catch this bottom lane soak. And if you missed it in the last game, you may not be aware of this, but the minion XP, especially early game, is actually different depending on which minion you're killing. These melee minions, the ones that die first, are worth slightly more than the ranged and globe minions. And the toss onto Jaina getting thrown deep into the back, Bummernot's going to dive in trying to help stun and keep her alive, but Raynor will just finish that. And he has no problems keeping up with that damage. And that is first blood going over to Stranger Pings, as they will now get their camp with that Gul'dan, and Phoenix warping away just in the nick of time so that he doesn't get tossed into the Rainer. And you'll notice they didn't take any silences. They must not be listening, missing the draft comments. So we do see Boogan squad coming up here, grabbing their camp, their shaman camp. Top lane, shrine, so it's not going to get a ton of value, whereas Stranger Pings started this bot lane camp, and now Phoenix is going to have to stay down here and deal with this, as now Stranger Pings will be able to get a little bit of value as the Wrecking Ball toss on a Nubarak, but once again he burrows out. Neither team really getting started on this, so Phoenix did get these down to 20% or so, but now there's also one in the mid lane, so a lot of pressure in the off lanes here, and this top camp is already gone. And there go the dogs. It's wrapped up. So it is a 4v5 currently. Nope, it's a 5v5. I can't count. Again, the throw onto the Nubarak. He's deep in there trying to get a stun onto the Garrosh. They will finish that kill thanks to the Arthas, and Michael going in on that Arthas? I said Arthas. Yeah, thanks to the Arthas. He's slowing that whole team down, trying to get everything he can, popping those Q heals on himself. And Alex draws a popping dragon to make sure that she gets as much healing onto this team as possible. Now that big cooldown is not going to be available for this shrine. And here comes Stranger Pings looking to maybe poke. No, they were just coming in just to let you know. That's something you got to be really careful about. You can't have four of you coming in into this choke, or you'll get a root out of Arthas, a stun out of the Anubarak, and find yourself in trouble. Look at that 4-man root coming out of Arthas as he gets thrown into the backline. Not who you want to throw. He's slowing everybody down, but he is going to go down as well. And now Anubarak in danger of dying. He's only got 100 and something health. Pops his shield, and it looks like he will make it out with just 59 health. One more Gul'dan Q, and he's visiting the graveyard. They did get 29 skeletal defenders, so they're not out of this entirely yet. The wave clear, however, pretty heavily coming out on Stranger Pings with this Gul'dan. He can just clear these forever. On top of that, you've got the Rainer and Rhaegar, and they've got pretty decent wave clear in this. They can clear single pretty quickly. A Nubarak gets thrown in by the Garrosh, but he doesn't choose to burrow out just yet. However, blizzard damage coming in on the Gul'dan as the Nubarak charges in, gets the stun. The Into the Fray throws Gul'dan out of the fray. Here comes a shield from the Tyrael as the toss again. Something else had to have happened there. As Anubarak, probably his Q, getting a stun out there. And so it is now 5v5, but ultimately Stranger Pings is going to lose this shrine as Boogan Squad only needed 10 more skeletal defenders when they got into that. And that significant push, that massive amount of damage that they had in Gul'dan, really made the impact. Akimbo going to go ahead and bait this Punisher over so that they can get as much damage on it while Boogan Squad is dealing with that wall. They'll only get it to about half, and burrow charge in from the Anubarak, and now he might be in danger, but he does have his full squad behind him helping to slow Akimbo down, and he's not in danger. He's all set and ready to go. Wesley has no mana, which means he can't pop the Inspire, he can't pop Adrenaline Rush, so he's got to be careful. And this first fort will go down. And there's that hop. They should be able to finish this relatively quickly with limited damage going out onto the wall. And Boogan Squad wants this camp. They want to take this out as quickly as possible. And here comes Stranger Pings. They can see this happening. Rainer boops him away, but he still doesn't have a ton of mana. He's got none. The 3-man root coming out. Garrosh is going to throw a Anubarak into the back, but here comes the Dragon Queen. It's a 4v5. What are you guys doing? Just take a step back. Take a breather. You lost a little bit of XP, but you're not that far behind. You lose the camp, but you can clear it quickly. Don't throw your game away. Whew. Alright, so Akimbo, 1v4, throws out the Ground Baker to check on the enemy team. Just barely misses that stun and root from the enemy team, as they will get their aggressive camp pushing. Indeed, that was an early dragon, but they ended up managing to pull it off thanks to the short cooldown on the res timers. Currently, we've got Stranger Pings ahead in the race to 10. They are going to make it there. We do see that Warlord's Challenge, the Ancestral, Hyperion coming out for Raynor. It is the Sanctification for Tyrael, and the Horrify for Gul'dan. I'm going to call that Haunt. You'll just have to deal with it, but I'm letting you know that that's going to happen right now, because I almost did it right there. And look at this cheeky Nubrag just hanging out, trying to Hearth, as the entire team, minus Tyrael, comes in to say, no, not right now. And so a Nubrag will tap, and now they're going to head up and get their Shaman Camp. Now, Shaman Camp in the top lane, it'll be interesting to see if they hold this, or if they go ahead and rip it now. Not going to get as much value as it could if it was in the bottom lane, but it can do something there. Arthas going to get thrown over, taunted. He pops his army. He's trying to stay alive between the army and his Q, but Gul'dan does get the web wrap. Horrify going out. There's the Sanctification. And here comes the Purification Salvo, trying to get anything it can on these people. A Nubrak getting thrown. He burrow charges out, gets the shield, gets the 3-man stun, and tries to make it out. Tyrael diving in, trying to get the kill on the Nubrak, but goes down thanks to that fort. And now we've got Arthas coming back, so an even trade in kills. Let's go over those heroics real quick here for Boogan squad. We do have the Cleansing Flame out of the Alexstrasza. Ring of Frost coming in for Jaina. Not a big surprise with as many slows as they have. You've got the Cocoon, which we just saw they're effective from the Anub'arak. Phoenix took that Purification Salvo, working that Jaina Arthas combo with Purification Salvo, getting the big boost in damage. And then, of course, the Army of the Dead. And look at this. So we've got the Frozen Waste and Rune Tap out of Arthas. He's going for that auto attack build as Anub'arak gets thrown in, taunted, manages to barely make it out, as now Rhaegar dives in and he gets chunked down by the Jaina damage, gets into the Frayed away from the team. And everybody is still relatively healthy on both sides, but we're already at 15 skeletal defenders. We're going to get there. Get that 15, so I'm not a liar. Web going out on the Garrosh. Anub'arak popping that Q-stun, gets multiple members, as the Ring of Frost going out manages to hit Tyrael and Rhaegar in the backline, as Jaina gets killed by Garrosh. And nobody's gonna die to that ring. Such a sad moment. But here comes that Purification Salvo. Phoenix trying to get away, but he does have that Garrosh low and finishes the job thanks to that Alexstrasza in the dragon form, and the Cleansing Flame keeping her team alive. Arthas slowing down this front line as the Hyperion coming across the lane. 37 defenders in behalf of Boogan squad. They can slow play this 38. They just need to poke it a little bit and they can win this Punisher, as all of their team is now back up. Jaina looking to come in. They just need one well-placed Blizzard or just about anything, as Arthas is going to go ahead and lead the charge, followed by Anub'arak diving in deep but doesn't manage to hit anybody with the E. Does, however, get him with the Q. And now it's a 5v5 in the mid lane, pushing in on Stranger Pings with this Arcane Punisher. This is the big value Punisher, as Indomitable is popped by Garrosh to avoid the stun from the Punisher. Here comes Arthas with that slow that we talked about earlier, trying to keep everybody slowed down. He does get the 3-man root, and he does get 3-man stun out of the Punisher as well. Look at these lasers just chopping this fort to bits, as the Punisher eventually does go down, but so does that second fort. And so Boogan squad is really pushing hard on this with these Punishers. The stun going out from Anub'arak, but Anub'arak's going to get tossed in the back. 3-man pop on the Ring of Frost, but the Purification Salvo following it while the Sanctification's out to prevent most of that damage. Akimbo's got it back out. He's got 200 health. And the Cocoon thrown out on Tyrael. We'll see. Does he make it out? He may have his Q. He does. He's going to pop away. And Stranger Pings ultimately winning that fight, getting the team pushed off. They lose the camp. I said Stranger Pings. Boogan squad ultimately winning that. Stranger Pings managed to get that camp and walk away. Nobody died. But ultimately, the value was definitely there for Boogan squad. And Stranger Pings did get that camp, so they did get the full XP out of it. They didn't lose anybody. They still have heroics. They have the Ancestral up, they've got the Hyperion up, and currently anyways, Boogan Squad's a little bit behind in that. And cue the Jaws music as a 5v3 invade coming in on theirs. They're gonna miss out on the camp. However, Raynor gets thrown in by the Garrosh into the fray as Jaina's blocked. She gets ice blocked and body blocked into that corner, and she will go down. So they won't manage to take this camp, but they will get a 1-0 kill onto that Jaina. And let's see, what else do we have? We've got more Lightning Shield coming out of Rhaegar. We've got the double up for the Garrosh, trying to help counter that burst. So much damage. Jaina, of course, taking this Icy Veins to get that cooldown reduction, but here they come again, looking at this camp now. They want it. They're here now. The Cocoon going out on Garrosh. They're going to lose the camp. Ultimately, Boogan Squad gets it. Here, the Cocoon's gone. The Ancestral going out on Garrosh. Arthas is going to get thrown in. I've never seen that version of Into the Fray landing in front of you. As you walk underneath it, but they will all make it out as the Hyperion and Ancestral were both burned, as well as Arthas's Army of the Dead, and of course that Cocoon that we saw straight onto that Garrosh. I need a drink of water. One moment while these teams hopefully don't pick a fight. Ah, that's better. All right, so what do we got going on here now? So Stranger Pings looking to soak up the XP that they can, try to get as close to 16, if not catch it before the altar, shrine, whatever we want to call it. And of course, Arthas coming down in the bot lane, trying to do pretty much the exact same thing. In the top, we already have 4 members of Boogan Squad. I imagine that we have the Alexstrasza Dragon. It looks like we do. So she's all ready to go. She's ready for this fight. And they are hanging back because they know that they don't have the Arthas. Let's give ourselves some screen real estate again. And here comes Arthas. So for, I believe, the first time now, Stranger Ping's getting the start. Garrosh is going to throw and then taunt this Phoenix. The Horrify going out, but there in the backline, Rhaegar's getting pummeled. Phoenix manages to make it out, and here comes the Purification Salvo onto the Garrosh. He managed to just barely stay in that Sanctification and stay alive as Anubarak coming in on the Gul'dan. Garrosh is going to go down thanks to that damage out of I'm sorry, not Akimbo. He's going to go down. Anubarak, as Tyrell's going to make it away as well, as the Hyperion's going to get some damage up here. But that 11-point advantage that they had eaten away by Boogan Squad, and now 2-0. Boogan Squad's going to get pushed in on this altar, and Arthas is saying, hey, I can come down, I can soak some XP, push this lane out a little bit. What do we have here? We got a Mortar Punisher coming out in the top lane. Mortar Punisher being one of the weaker Punishers. It's the weakest Punisher by comparison. And they already have pretty decent push in this lane, so it's not going to take very long to get to this top keep. And again, it's not deep into the game yet, but the way this has been going, if they get a solid team fight here and take out, say, two members of Stranger Pings, this could be a core call if they get that. Anubarak getting thrown over the wall, but he dives right out of the Ring of Frost, managing to hit the Rhaegar. The Ancestral going on to Rhaegar, but Akimbo in the backline so low manages to tap, but Rhaegar gets finished off by the Arthas. We have a lonely Tyrael sitting up in a cocoon over here, and it looks like he'll make it out. So not enough probably to take the core just yet, because they are trying to get as much damage as they can onto the Punisher. The keep will go down. It does have a lot of health still, as Tyrael getting chunked down by that Phoenix. Instead of pushing that core, which is probably the best thing, they're going to get this camp. I mean, the camp is the best thing, not the core. They shouldn't have done the core. Not enough damage, I think, at this point. And with 4 members up, even with them at half health, it's a little bit of a risky call. They might have been able to do it, especially with having a couple of ults still available, but that's okay. They're pushing hard in this game. They're going to have to work to throw it at this point. It could happen. It certainly could happen. Stranger Pings could come out, rip a fantastic combo, get that Sanctification off. That could be a thing that takes place. But we'll have to wait for that moment, because right now, Boogan Squad looking to make this a red map. And there's only one camp left to be taken. So we'll have to see whether Stranger Pings elects to come in and try to invade this top camp, or if they're going to go ahead and defend. It looks like they're going to defend. And there is no wall now, so Garrosh managing to throw somebody is not going to provide a ton of value other than just the distance. And here they come. So 5v4 right now. Tyrell's in the top lane. He does get the taunt onto 2 members, but the Ancestral misses as Horrify goes out, gets a little bit of value. The Ring of Frost hitting 3 members, the 3 remaining members of Stranger Pings, and we're getting the Cleansing Flame finishing off that Rhaegar thanks to the Jaina damage as well. Tyrell's going to get cocooned. Nubrax diving in on the Rhaegar, getting just pummeled, and Tyrell's going to come out. He gets rooted. Can he escape? He's going to try to get out with that speed, but he doesn't make it. And now a 4-for-0 team fight in favor of Boogan squad, and they're going to go ahead and get whatever value they can out of this bottom. I think you know, ultimately with Beetles, they probably could have taken that sidewall and gone straight for the core at this point. They have level 20. Let's take a look at those talents while they're pushing this. We see the upgraded Cleansing Flame, the upgraded Ring of Frost, which is just going to be beastly with the reset cooldowns, the Rewind coming out of Anub'arak, the upgraded Army of the Dead, and Singularity Change, giving that W talent ability, rather, even more value. And now Boogan squad saying, we don't care about these walls over here, we want to get damage, more damage onto these keeps. We have a bottom what are those called again, camp pushing in here. And now with the Beetles, Anub'arak's going to go ahead and allow them to keep pushing in on this. Keeps it half health. Anub'arak getting the cocoon in on Tyrael, dives in, and then just walks away. They got 2/3 of the health off of that keep. They have no structures themselves down, so this is nothing but a win for Boogan squad. They are showing why they have been placed at #1 and finishing off the season very strong here. And they just lost to Asmo Carry. They want to get these points against Stranger Pings. Here comes Garrosh getting the stun and then the toss onto Jaina, but she does get the ice block, the Horrify going up, preventing any real significant value here. But here comes the Tyrael Sanctification, the Purification Salvo going out, and down goes Anub'arak. Jaina earlier. Here comes the Arthas. They're trying between the army and the Cleansing Flames to keep him alive, but it's just not happening. And the Cleansing Flame Dragon manages to back away as Stranger Ping says, we are not done with this game. We've got our 20s. We're going to show you how we want to play this. And Rhaegar coming out with this Storm Shield, the upgraded Warlords Challenge, Death Wish for Garrosh. We do see the Execute managing to win harder, get them low, finish them off, coming out for that team. And then we've got Tyrael with the upgraded Sanctification, getting that additional damage while you're in the Sanctification. That might just be the push they need to make sure that they win these team fights. Get in the Sanctification, get your damage bonus, live for that 3 seconds, and just burn them. And then, of course, the upgraded Horrify with the armor reduction. So we're going to see increased damage and armor reduction when they use those cooldowns effectively. So they're not out of this yet. They could still make something happen here, and they are doing so with this Arcane Punisher in the bot lane. This first fort will go down. That's the first structure for Stranger Pings, but they are seemingly having question marks about what they're doing here because they're split a little bit and deciding whether they're going forward or not. They do have 5-man on the roster coming up here. Arthas is going to walk in. Anub'arak's going to burrow out. Ring's going to miss everybody. The Cocoon going out. Warlord's Challenge onto 2 members. Here comes the Horrify. Still have that Sanctification for that damage bonus and survivability. Cleansing Flame popped and Dragon in the backline. The Punisher manages to MVP the Phoenix to death. And all of a sudden, Stranger Pings pushing in on this, trying to get some value. They do have this camp, and they're going to go ahead and walk away because now they've got pressure on the core. Gul'dan making it back quickly is going to be able to clear this just barely in time. They do lose 4% though, and every percent, I'm sorry, 7%. There's one more catapult. Make it 11. Every percent matters in Heroes of the Storm. The game is not over until it's over. And as we just saw, either team can come back, win a solid team fight, and now with this bot lane being so heavily pushed up, this keep could be the way to victory for Stranger Pings. Stranger Pings have happened before. You know, it's late, it's a doubleheader. Things are happening. All right, so here we go. Boogan squad electing to not stay on this camp. They know that Phoenix was still not on the map, and with that top camp being taken, there was only one other place to go. They didn't want to take that fight just yet. That's not the fight to win. They take the long route all the way back safely up to the top so that they can clear out this shaman camp. The shaman camp being far more threatening than the Khazra camp in the middle. And so we're going to see here Stranger Pings. I mean, they're hiding in the bush, but I think that they probably could have seen that happening. So we'll see if Boogan falls for this. I don't think they will. They're going to be pretty safe in that rotation. They want to make sure, as I click on the keep, sorry, my bad. They want to make sure that they're safe in this because, again, one team fight where they lose a couple of members, and this is the end of the game. And this is where I go to my apparently golf announcer voice, because we don't want to be too loud. We don't want to tell these teams where each other are. A little bit of XP soak, not that they really need it. You're post 20, so all you're looking at is a little bit of a percentage bonus out of getting these levels, but they're trying to keep the lanes pushed out, and Gul'dan has to go back to deal with that exact issue. They do have catapults down here, they have catapults on the way, they now have catapults up here, 3 catapults pushing in. They cannot deal with any more damage on their core, and that's going to give Boogan squad the opportunity to start claiming the rest of these camps. And in 10 seconds, their top shaman camp is going to be up as well. So I fully expect them to go over there rather than going immediately to the shrine. The camp being able to give them some value. They still have this fort here, so they can defend a Punisher. Get as much advantage as you can. But it looks like they're just going to elect to get started on here. They have that push in the bot lane, so soon enough, somebody's going to have to go back from Stranger Pings to deal with that. And here we go. 5v5, both teams dancing around a little bit as the minions are slowly going down. Somebody's going to do something. It's going to happen. There's the dragon, so here it comes. Boogan squad wants to initiate this. The throw from Garrosh manages to get the stun. Here goes the Horrify, and the Sanctification is coming out. Nubrak's going to go down, followed by Arthas. This is just what Stranger Pings needed to make this game a complete turnaround, as they're going to catch the Jaina. Jaina's going to ice block, but it's not going to get her anywhere. She's going to die to try to limit the amount of staggered death. And all we have is Alex and Phoenix. What do? You're going core. You got to try to push this, because 40 seconds until Anubrak is back is not going to help you if... Boogan's the other side. If Stranger Pings decides to push, and now the Phoenix realizing, uh-oh, they sent somebody back, I can no longer do this. But 50%, 40%, I don't know, Phoenix. I think you might have had a chance. You might have had a chance. 37%. Look at this core. Look at that core. 4,700 health, or is that? I think that's one of the keeps. That's probably this keep right here. So close. So close. So now it's a 3 versus 2 push with this frozen Punisher in the middle. What's gonna happen? Phoenix is gonna get the bait on the Punisher, pull him back. Thanks to his shield, he's not gonna die to it. He does get the 25 spell armor as well from his talents. And those roots going out, not gonna do too much, as the Punisher now at half health gets the stun onto Arthas. Gotta be careful there. Here comes the roots. And it is going to land on both Anubrak and Arthas. The Punisher is at 20%, 10% or so. It's going down. And now, here's the pressure for Stranger Pings that they need. They now have this lane completely open for a core call should they get a good team fight. And they have all their ults up on both sides. Garrosh is going to get stunned. Here comes the Ring of Frost. It's going to hit both Garrosh and Tyrael. Tyrael is going to go in the cocoon. Anubrak's going to dive into the back lane, gets taunted, and Cleansing Flame tried to keep him up as Tyrael is now out, and Anubrak goes down thanks to the Rainer. Jaina's going to get the slows onto the team, but the sanctification is going to keep them all alive as the purification salvo goes out. It is now a 5 versus 4 as Arthas does get a big root onto 3 members that probably saves Phoenix's life. They have no frontline tank. They've got their Arthas trying to make the plays as he can keep rooting these people. They've got to make a play here soon because that bot lane is going to push in on their core, so they got to do something one way or the other. Gul'dan getting significant damage out on the DPS as they push into this core. 90% now. Garrosh throwing the Arthas away, trying to keep him away from the DPS as Phoenix is getting chunked. Arthas is getting chunked by Phoenix. The big root, but they will finish the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Stranger Pings pulls it off. They had 1 keep, all of the structures to go. They push in that bot lane. They get it most of the way down. They take a couple of solid team fights and they win game 1 on Infernal Shrines against Boogan Squad. And the stats, look at the stats, 143,000 healing coming out of the Rhaegar, almost a 30-minute game. No surprise there, 120,000 out of Alexstrasza. Look at Gul'dan with 112, no deaths. The only person on Stranger Pings to survive the entire match, and Alexstrasza with that disengage escape from the Cleansing Flame being the only sole survivor on the side of Boogan Squad. Well played by both teams. We had a 13 and 11 kills, so both teams were very safe about their positioning for the most part, other than obviously being caught out for the Garrosh throws. So well done on behalf of both teams. This was a very close match, and unfortunately, Boogan just lost it at the end there. They had the increased damage out of that Tyrael Sanctification. They had the armor penalty coming out of the Haunt. Oh, that's why it's Haunt. Yeah, there we go. Horrifying Haunt. And it was just overwhelming for their team. We are going to get set up for game number 2 between Stranger Pings and Boogan Squad. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, so we're about to get started here. So with that update, Stranger Ping's going up 1 point from 14 to 15. They do not, however, have the tiebreaker over Sack of Bricks. So as of now, they are still sitting in 7th place. But should they win another map, they will do a quick leapfrog over Sack of Bricks. I believe that Sack of Bricks does have another game yet to play. They do, in fact, I believe, against Pigeon Stitches. For this weekend, so they still will have a chance to overtake them again. And what do we all kinds of chat going on here. Look, so some free agency trades talking in chat right now between the teams, but so that's where we're at on the standings. Taking a look at the maps, we do have the first pick being elected by Boogan Squad, and so Stranger Pings is going to go ahead and take us to Volskaya Foundry. I feel like I've done this before. I feel like we've been here before doing this rotation. Let's take a look here. So I'm all ready when you guys are. So let's see what happens in game number 2. Taking defeat from the jaws of victory. That's a good way to put that. So we've got one team ready. And the other team is also ready. So we are going to go ahead and get this game going. Let's get started. And here we go, getting ready into this draft. We're going to Volskaya. Let's go ahead and turn off the all-track music. Hopefully I didn't, good. Didn't screw that up last time. Sometimes I end up having both of the musics from the last game and the current game in the same thing, and it sounds rather, well, we're not Data here. We can't listen to 5 levels of music at the same time and get it. Right? I mean, maybe some of you can. I don't know. So last game, the first ban out of Boogan was Brightwing. This time they said, hell no, we don't want to deal with that Gul'dan again. And so Gul'dan is making his first appearance as a ban in this, and Kerrigan going out as well once again. They don't want to see that. They know that that was played pretty well in that last Volskaya game last round. Tyrael, another not surprise. Both of those heroes ultimately making the game happen. I think that if not for that Horrify and Sanctification combo, we would have seen that game going in the other direction. And if you're Phoenix, I don't know, Phoenix. I think you could have maybe had that, but such is life. No use worrying about the last game. That game is over. It's now time to come back and score a win for your team. We do have Imperius coming out on behalf of that Bummerknot. Imperius, of course, being banned out in the last game. And now that Brightwing makes it through the draft, that will be picked up by Moosebrow. Johanna, our first time for the night that we get to see Johanna. She's been banned out the whole time. And Camp Bella's going to pick up that Rainer, so let me type these in. I'll talk a little bit more about what we got going on here. Garrosh for Akimbo. So Garrosh into the onto Akimbo again. So we now have a throw along with a poly, so anybody going in is going to get stuck there for a bit. And then you see Johanna is going to... The pickup of that helps them to make sure that they don't get, a potential blind against Rainer. Double tank could be a potential issue. And welcome everybody coming over from Mark's Zombie stream. Somebody tell me how that match ended. I would love to hear that. Let's see who else we have. We have Imperius with that Valorous brand talent at level 1. That could be a bit of an issue for Garrosh if he manages to land those Celestial charges and getting those percent damage onto Garrosh, maybe throwing out a cleave. That could be a lot of damage, chunking him down quickly. And Imperius is just a super solid solo laner right now. I don't know if I'd put him above Rexar, maybe in a similar, depending on the map you're on, as to what you got going on here. And finally, that Arthas. So again, Arthas was on their team last time, so a little bit of a different scenario here, but they pick up the Kel'Thuzad and the Alexstrasza. So they're going into that Alexstrasza again. I don't know. It's got to be a heavy comfort pick for them because they really seem to like it. Li Ming and Cassia. And Li Ming played by a Ghost. So what are we going to get out of this last slot? We're going to get another frontline, I think. So who do you get? Artanis. So they want to get those swaps. Let's see. So you're looking at... okay, fair enough, fair enough. You got a decent couple of targets. And you know what? Just yesterday, I spent a few moments gushing over the Artanis play of a team of which name I cannot remember because I've cast so many games these last few days. 2-0 in favor of 10 armor. Well done, 10 armor. I suppose I probably shouldn't say this considering they 2-0'd, but I did, a friend of mine was helping them out today. So, you know, shout out to Lid if you are in the chat. Well done. I'm glad that you were able to get some time in and help 10 armor to be successful in their matches today. So game one was last game. Game 2 on Volskaya getting ready to launch here. Let's get this going. So Volskaya Foundry in the red. We've got Boogan squad. Bummer not going to be playing the Imperious. We've got Camp Bella's on that Rainer. Mantis going to bring the chill with Kel'Thuzad. Michael going to be playing that Johanna for the first time tonight. And Tom Piece on the Alexstrasza. I don't even know that I need to keep announcing that. That just keeps happening. Over here for the blue team, Stranger Pings, we've got Ghost 4444 on the Li Ming. Shut Up Wesley on Cassia. Moosebrow going to be bringing the dragon, the Nether Fairy Dragon on the Bright Wing. Cadet Legend on the Artanis. And Akimbo once again on the Garrosh. And here we go with the sprays. All kinds of sprays all over the place. Let's zoom out. Take a look at these talents. What have we got going on? The shield stripping. I'm sorry, that's a 4 talent. The chain armor stripping coming out of Kel'Thuzad once he finishes those stacks. So we'll see how quickly he can get that done. A little bit miss on that root, unfortunately. But the throw on Johanna. It's Johanna. She's got her D, her Iron Skin. She walks away. No big deal for her. We do see the, I think that's reactive parry. Yep. The armor, physical armor to help to counter the damage coming out of that Rainer. As the teams will do an awkward rotation. I think that this is usually the other direction, but whatever, both of them are doing it, so maybe it's a Div D thing. I don't know. Haven't seen that one. We do see the reduced cooldown on that Iron Skin for Johanna, and now these fortification camps are available at the 1 minute mark. So we'll see which, if either team chooses to go get that fortification early on here, and it looks like that's going to be Boogan squad. What do we got? Oh, what is it? Is it? It's the Aetherwalker! Somebody alert Blizzard! It happened! We can shut down the stream right now. We don't need to see anything else. That's the end of the game. Point in favor of Stranger Pings. Up in the top, Artanis electing to forego the XP in favor of getting that top camp. And these top camps don't do a ton of damage, so I'm not sure, you know, if he's going to get a positive trade losing that XP soak for the camp. But we'll see. Getting that early. Slow's going out onto the Cassia. A little bit of poke damage. Both teams still, you know, pretty healthy. Akimbo on that Garrosh has pretty heavy armor, so he's not ready to die. But here comes Boogan Squad saying, we want this support camp, and they know that Artanis is off the lane somewhere. If I was in a Hero League game or in a quick match, I would assume that he's gone DC'd because he's been gone for a long time. He did not take amateur opponent. How's his mana doing? Pretty low. I should know. Well, there's a difference between watching every game and casting games, and you're covering games on different divisions, and everybody wants to do things differently. You know, I'm just here. I got to represent my boys in Div D, make sure that they're all caught on these VODs later so that they can evaluate their teams, their opponents, and going into these playoffs, these games are very important to them, not just for standings, but what are they playing? How are they playing it? This is 8 weeks deep, 10 games, 10 matches in. There's a lot of information to be had, and the most recent games are the most important, I think. All right, then. We have 5v5, and let's take a quick look at Kel'Thuzad has 6 stacks. Brightwing getting chunked down, drops the turret, as Akimbo will come in and body block, but the turret from the Boogan squad is also doing some work. Cadet Legend going in on the Artanis, but he's going to have to blade dash out, trying to get his shield to pop, but it's not enough. And it looks like in any moment now, Boogan squad will start channeling the objective. They're going to go ahead and go back and tap. Why wouldn't you? Let's get filled up here. The only question remains now is whether or not Stranger Pings is going to grab this support camp. And it looks like they are going to do that while Boogan squad is on the objective. So Kel'Thuzad up to 7 stacks now. Took that regen globe quest to provide the healing out of his spell damage and ultimately the potential to return should he die. And we do see that blind for Cassia providing the heals. So poke damage out of the Li Ming. She did take that dominance, so if they can get a kill, not only does she get resets, but she also gets 20% of her health back. The boot going out on the Garrosh. She's trying to get in deep to get somebody, but he is so deep as Brightwing will just barely manage to keep him alive. The throw onto the Johanna into the towers, and it looks like backing away with that support camp. Nope, they're barely able to keep it in overtime. So never mind. Artanis going in with the Garrosh, trying to get as much damage on this Imperius as they can. They will finish off the Artanis, but Johanna in trouble with that throw. Can she stay alive as Li Ming goes down? And it is now 0 for 2 in favor of Boogan squad. Just barely managed to keep those people alive. Johanna and Rain are both very low, hopping into that protector to continue to gain that health regeneration, that mana regeneration while they're in there and keep themselves safe. As Alex will go ahead and top up the Imperius. And guys, I gotta tell you, when you watch this later, put those lasers in a better spot. Hit all of the structure. Don't just hit that wall. There's nobody else to hit. Get some value. The Artanis gets rooted by the Punisher, as it will pop the shield. It won't give any shields to anybody else, but it will give it some armor. The root manages to hit from Kel'Thuzad, and Brightwing gets obliterated from the Punisher. Holy cow. And Artanis gets rooted once again, punched in the face by that Punisher, and he gets a one-way ticket to the graveyard thanks to Kel'Thuzad. What is Kel'Thuzad up to now? 17. He's gaining stacks like crazy now. And there goes the well, so they will finish that. They did get a little bit of damage on the core. I'm sorry, the fort. They're kind of close. We got a 4 for 4 in that top lane. But they're going to go ahead and back up now. Imperius has been soaking now, so they are a full level ahead. They want to get these 10s as quickly as possible, get that advantage, and push hard wherever they can. They want to try to get a structure out of that before the next objective up top. Give them a little bit of advantage in defending that or being offensive in that. Trying to keep as much of the action as possible on the screen for you here, guys. And the fortification camps being picked up by both teams. And here we go with the ultimates. Oh, okay. I was like, what did I do? So Michael paused the game. Apparently we have some form of connection issue, I'm assuming. So we do have, for these heroics, we've got the Cleansing Flame from Alexstrasza, the Angelic Armaments for Imperius, the Shadow Fisher for Kel'Thuzad. And let's take a look at the 7. What do we have out of this? Cheeky little chilling touch. So every 8 seconds, his basic attack is going to splash and deal spell damage instead of auto attack damage. So that's going to bypass the Artanis physical armor. And apparently Tom's typing to nobody but his own team. Kimbo saying hi. Oh, there we go. So much for the countdown, but that's okay. So where are we? We've got these top camps pushing against each other. Maybe a little bit more on the left side. Sorry, the no comment. Dropping some F-bombs in chat. Maybe there's a way I can turn off chat. I'll have to look into that. Kel'Thuzad gonna grab that Garrosh, but he's gonna pop the Unstoppable to get away. He's gonna throw out Johanna as Imperius charges in. Johanna pops the Iron Skin, and Artanis is gonna get caught by the root. We'll see if he's able to get out, as Brightwing does Z in to keep him alive, but now she's in trouble, and she goes down thanks to that Q from Raynor. Garrosh is gonna be followed shortly after, and Cleansing Flame trying to finish the Arthas, but not quite. Can they get him on the... No, they can't. Oh, they can! The blind coming out. The shield glare from Johanna finishes the job, but Imperius is too deep tanking the fort and dies. Oh, so deep. So deep. And as we get that, the rest of our heroics, we see the Hyperion coming out of Raynor, and there it is, Cadet Legend calling out that Johanna shield glare, finishing that. And the Blessed Shield for Johanna, her ultimate now. On behalf of Stranger Pings, we've got the Lightning Orb, Lightning Ball, I think? Yeah. Disintegrate, Emerald Wind, the Warlord's Challenge. So we'll see what kind of value we get. Hopefully we don't see too much anti-synergy between that Emerald Wind and the Lightning Orb. And the Suppression Pulse, trying to cause some slowed reaction, some damage, preventing Raynor from getting his big bursts. They probably don't even know it. They probably haven't even checked that Kel'Thuzad has that level 7 talent. But maybe they have. And if they have, then they won't be getting that big burst of damage out of him as well. And even the cooldown reduction that Jaina took. And the cleave. So a lot of value out of this suppression pulse. And here comes Artanis onto the Johanna as she helps her condemn. Imperius manages to get the charge onto the Brightwing, but he gets thrown away. The Emerald Wind pushing them away as well. The two-man taunt coming in on the front line of Boogan Squad as Li Ming goes down, gets finished off by the Alexstrasza. Akimbo does get the stun up, but it's not enough to save the Artanis as Johanna's following up. The Shadowfisher gonna just barely not kill Garrosh as his axe goes flying all the way up to the fort. And this is Boogan Squad coming in and saying, we had that game. That was our game. We want this game. Make it happen. 11 kills to 1 in favor of Boogan Squad. That is more kills, I believe, than either team had last game. And if it's not, it's very close. So we'll see what happens. Stranger Pings has got to pick this up. Do they have the ultimates to make it happen? Do they have the positioning to make it happen? There are only 2 places you can enter in. You come through this narrow choke point, or you go in through the front door. And Brightwing gets caught by that chain stun, but doesn't get pulled over the wall because it just doesn't work like that. Artanis is in the mid, taking a long route to get up here. I don't know that he's going to get up here before it's at 100%. And they're trying to get in on this, but there's the turret zoning him out just slightly. It's only a second or two before they get on the 99%. Garrosh getting chunked down, gets obliterated, and now Artanis deep in, surrounded by 4 members of Boogan Squad, gets demolished, and here comes the Hyperion just continuing the damage as Kel'Thuzad will chain on the Cassia. Cassia gets caught by the Imperius, bouncing that Lightning Orb, and the Shadowfisher coming out from Kel'Thuzad, almost finishing the job on Wesley, but not quite able to do it. They do manage to get Johanna and Raynor once again into the fort, into the Protector rather, to get that bonus damage. I believe it's 25% bonus damage from the Protector. You get the 10 armor to make sure you can keep it longer. And now they're going to finish off the mid lane. It's pretty low, so they can get that. They have 45 seconds left on this Protector. A huge advantage. They've got level 15. They're a full talent tier ahead. But don't forget game 1, where they had 3 forts down, 2 keeps down, 1 keep at half health, and managed to lose the game at the last minute. And that's got to be on their minds. You can't let it weigh you down, but you've got to pay attention. You've got to make sure that you are keeping your head in this game. Get as much advantage as you can, but don't lose focus. The chain going out, missing everybody. The Shadowfisher trying to hit the Artanis. The root misses Artanis. He just dodges everything. He's at full health still. The Punisher getting most of the damage, but the laser missing everything. Could have potentially finished that fort. They might have been able to get that, but they didn't quite finish it. The Punisher runs out of time, and Johanna and Raynor are going to go ahead and walk away. 5v5 in the bot lane here. as both teams looking to get their fortification camps. Once again, very valuable. Practically becomes an additional member of your team when you get enough of these equipment stacked up. And here we've got the throw onto Johanna, but she's going to pop Iron Skin, get out, misses the taunt because of it. Garrosh is going to Groundbreaker in on the Rainer to get him stunned. Kel'Thuzad has left the game and rejoined the game. And we're going to say that Stranger Pings was kind enough to just walk away because they knew that Kel'Thuzad was out of that for a brief moment. And now, Boogan squad coming right in to try to take this. I don't know that this is the best thing for them to do, but Stranger Pings is ignoring it entirely. They threw the Johanna back into the game, and there goes Kel'Thuzad. He is offline entirely, so we'll see. This is a 5v4 fight. They haven't paused the game yet. I don't know if they've even noticed yet, as the Li Ming damage, you know, chunking them down, but they managed to survive that 5v4 fight, and now they're pinging the Kel'Thuzad. Apparently they don't care. They'll play with the AI rather than the Kel'Thuzad hero, I guess. Well, yeah, hit the pause. Can I pause? I can't pause. Can I? I can't talk to them. As we get the pause, thanks to the AI Kel'Thuzad, hopefully we'll see him coming back soon. We do see Boogan squad popping that 16, so we get the increased duration on the Dragon Queen out of that. And we do see here a little bit of, I think, a different... yeah, okay, so the increased healing when you're under half, along with the increased armor when you're popping that E. We've got the Rainer percent damage for that Garrosh. I can't talk to them, so it doesn't matter. What do we got out of Kel'Thuzad over here? The stacking spell power. That's going to go pretty well with this Chilling Touch. Stack that up, get your spell power up, and then knock this out with a huge auto attack. Along with the chains, of course, slowing them for quite a bit. Let me see if I can Kimbo. No, I can't. About piece. Nope, can't talk to these guys. They are just going to have to deal with it, or maybe if it takes a minute, they'll have to listen in on the stream. But yes, you should be able to reconnect into the game if you close all the way out. It's just like anything else, any of the other matches. So we do see the Burning Rage equivalent for Johanna Holy Fury and the Holy Renewal giving that free heal. And if you hit those, that's a whole lot. Okay, so they think they're ready. And now we get a countdown. And here we go. So we'll go ahead and pop those away. Now, Kel'Thuzad has not yet finished those stacks. So in 4 more hits on his abilities, he's going to start putting out crazy amounts of damage. Let's see, which one of these? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's do that. We're going to zoom in close on them as we look for the damage numbers here. There we go. And we'll zoom back out as soon as I find the right button. There we go. So damage pretty similar between Rainer and Li Ming there. The Kel'Thuzad pretty far behind, but if he manages... Oh, the Blessed Shield going out and hits 3 members, maybe 2. The cleanse coming out of Brightwing, and now the Emerald Wind to keep them pushed back. That Biotic Emitter looking to keep Boogan squad nice and healthy, as they almost had that Garrosh, but just not quite enough follow-up. And lucky for Kimbo, you've got that Moose Brow giving you the cleanse and those big fat Z heals occasionally. And we do get this aggressive fortification camp invade thanks to Boogan squad. So now they have 1 turret and Stranger Pings has nothing. And welcome to the death zone. This is going to be a huge deciding factor. One team or the other is just going to die here. once Stranger Ping shows up. This is not a maybe 1 for 1 or 2 for 2. This is a 4 for 0 or a 4 for 1. And here comes Artanis getting the swap onto Alexstrasza. They're not going to interrupt the Cleansing Flame, so she makes it out. The Groundbreaker hits 3, the Emerald Wind going in, but she gets caught by Kel'Thuzad, and she makes it out alive thanks to the Into the Fray. Lightning Orb going out as the 2-man taunt onto Imperius and Alexstrasza when she comes back down. The Root manages to hit, and look at them fold as 4 heroes go down. They didn't even make it to the control point. I hate to call it a prophecy, but what else could it be? They got the 16, they came down to take this fight, and they almost had it with that swap on the Alexstrasza. Just a top tier swap, but you gotta follow up on it. You gotta get that polymorph or the Groundbreaker or throw her more. Do something. Keep her from getting that Cleansing Flame, and this game goes the other direction. And now, pushing into level 20, Boogan squad is looking to get as much value out of this bottom protector that just came online. This wall is gone, the fort is exposed, and now we've got level 20 coming up here in just a moment, as Kel'Thuzad, I believe, did finish his stacks. It doesn't show anymore, so I guess that means it's finished. Monster damage out of him earlier. Laser in on the keep as the root going out on the Artanis. Let's zoom in on this a little bit more. Alexstrasza pops the Dragon Form, gets that W out. The Emerald Wind goes out, pushes them back just a little bit there. The laser missing the fort, doesn't hit any of the members of the team either, but there goes the big punch onto Garrosh as this keep does go down, and they're pushing more. They want this win. They don't want another game won. They do manage to finish off the Garrosh as now Artanis gets punched and knocked out. They are going in for this core, and what do they have against them? Cassia, Li Ming, they don't care. They are going to finish this game right now. The Cleansing Flame looking to help. The Punisher, the Protector, punching Cassia, finishing her off almost, and there goes the core right about now. Well done to Boogan squad coming in, pushing hard, and making it happen. The death zone is real, ladies and gentlemen. That bottom control point, I think every Volskaya game that I've cast has had the bottom control point just become an absolute nightmare for one team or the other. And take a look at these stats. 19 kills to 1. Holy cow. Kel'Thuzad didn't have to put up big numbers. He just had to make sure that they died, that they were in the position that Raynor could kill them. Absolutely dominant performance coming out of Boogan squad. Let's take a look at those talents. We didn't get to really talk about them, but we did get the upgraded Cleansing Flame on Ruby Wings, giving her the free dragon when she comes down. The upgraded Angelic Armaments, giving that free shield, and also a free, what is it? Does it? It's like a spear. Oh, there we go, a sword. You got that Execute coming out of Raynor, that Win Harder talent, and the additional Shadow Fishers. Just pop those things off. And crazy enough, Blinded by the Light, giving those shields to her team. This is the second time that I've seen this in 2 days. I've never seen this talent taken. Second time in 2 days. But you know what? If you're going for the core and you want to finish the game, that's absolutely a perfectly good talent to take. Gives everybody the chance to survive just a little bit longer as you finish the game. All right, so we've got next game's going to go to Alterac. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are going into game 3. The map is all set up. We're going to be going to Alterac Pass. Just real quick here, I want to take a look at the standings, as with that win, Boogan squad does pass Asmo Carry once again. So they are back into first place, and I believe the potential is there for Pigeon Stitches to catch up, because they do have 2 matches left to play. That is the only threat to them in first place. Stranger Pings now looking to overtake Sack of Bricks in 6th place. It's been a heck of a match. That last game was very heavily dominant in favor of Boogan Squad. The first game was largely dominant in favor of Boogan Squad, but they gave that game away to Stranger Pings. And congrats to Stranger Pings, because they stuck it out and looked for their opportunity, and they got it. So game 3 on to Alterac Pass. This map was selected by Boogan Squad, and Stranger Pings elected for the first pick. And let's check in on our teams here. Oh my goodness, these teams are having a blast. I'll set when you guys are. So I told them that it was going to be just a moment they could, hit up the restroom or whatever, and looks like about half the teams have decided to hit up that whatever. And let's see here. One team is ready. While the other team gets ready, we're going to throw in a commercial for NGS Patreon, because I'm going to take a drink of water. All right, both teams are ready. We're going to go ahead and get this going. Let me make sure just that, let's see, so, as first pick, yes. So tonight, I've updated my screen. You may see Alice there. That is my co-caster. Thankfully tonight, she's been relatively quiet. And it looks like everybody's ready. Here we go. On to Alterac Pass. Who the heck is Darth Kebab? Yes. One moment. Yeah, somebody just found their way into our draft. New lobby, who dis? Michael, we were on the same page, buddy. I was thinking exactly the same thing. All right, let's get this game started and get this going to Alterac Pass before some other random shows up into the lobby. And here we go into the draft. Alterac Pass being game number 3 between Stranger Pings and Boogan Squad. Let's see what happens. So who do you think was the most impactful hero on Boogan Squad? I was going to say, I think that Johanna was absolutely just integral to the success of that team. I think that without Johanna, maybe they do as well, but she was just absolutely phenomenal for them. And Alex Straza, I do have to say, while she did get caught a few times, managed to escape death so many times that she had a pretty significant role to play in that as well. Very similar bans to earlier. We've seen Johanna banned out. We've seen Gul'dan. We've seen Kael'thas. Kael'thas being banned out in the second slot every time by that team. And we do see, once again, the Gul'dan Tyrael. They don't want to deal with that. And first pick now, Moosebrow pulling off of the healers. Gonna rip that Kerrigan. So now, who is going to play the healer, I wonder? Mantis returning to the Jaina and the Anubarak for Bummernot. That was a combo that they ran in that first game. They ultimately lost that game, but not necessarily because it was because they did that poorly, just because they didn't finish it well. We'll see if they can pull this out better this time. And the Diablo Lili. So Lili is going to be an interesting balance here. Det on Diablo. Curious is going to get banned out. Returning to the bans. So, once again, looking very similar to where we were just a couple of hours ago. And there goes that Alexstrasza. I don't know if they're listening to me or if they're following the same kind of line of thinking that I have. I don't know. But either way, they said, you know what? Enough is enough. Get rid of this Alexstrasza. Play something else. 4 games out of the last 5, you've played Alexstrasza. L2P something else, right? So here we go. Picking up that Blazing Raynor. So Raynor Jaina, a very positive combination there with the ace in the hole. And Li Ming and Genji, the double recent comp coming out. I like it when they make the heroes on the same one they played last game. And now, as a healer, you got to look at this lineup and go, well, shoot, what am I going to do? I got a Diablo charge, I got a Kerrigan jump, I got a Genji. How do I keep this team alive? Do you go with an Uther? Can you do that? You might be able to. Do you play Uther? I don't know. Stukov's going to be the answer. So they're going to want to try to slow things down, drop that silence right into them, and, you know, if somebody dives in, they want to lock them down with the Blaze stun, with the Anubrak stun, maybe even with a Cocoon, just depending on who it is, and then leave that Stukov silence to prevent them from getting out. No Genji Swift Strikes or whatever natural agility over the wall. I think that's him. Maybe that's Hanzo's version. I don't know. The thing that he does the thing over the wall thing. But here we go into game number 3 between Boogan Squad and Stranger Pings. Both matches tonight have been best of 3, and they've been absolutely just monstrous. We've got domination level games. We've got back and forth games. This game here was quite the Alterac pass that we had earlier was quite a one-sided map, but these are very different teams and very different heroes. So let's get the introductions done. I didn't hit the thing. I gotta hit the thing. I gotta have those popping up. There's the thing. There you go. Now you got the thing. So we've got the Anubrak being played by Bummernot. Stukov hanging out in the base. Going to be played by Tompiece. Michael on the Blaze. Mantis on the Jaina. And Cambella's on the Raynor. And switching around their roles, Akimbo becoming the Genji tank. Wesley going to be playing that Lili. Cadet Legend on the Diablo. Ghost 44 on Li Ming. And Moosebrow ripping the Kerrigan. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3. Who's going to win it? Shout them out. Tell them you love them. Make them feel good about themselves. They got a big game ahead. And let's take a look at the first level talents while the teams are splitting up, getting that soak going. So it is the ace in the hole and Beetle build coming out of Anubrak. Keep in mind, Beetles now have 30 spell armor with the Legion of Beetles talent, not 40. That was slightly nerfed. We do see the Pyromaniac Unstoppable coming out for Blaze. And Jaina, of course, going that Fingers of Frost. Swift Strike build coming out for Genji. And, of course, the Feast on Fear for Diablo. Lots of walls in the area here to knock people into. And once again, the Ether Walker for the Li Ming. I don't remember which game it was that we had the Li Ming with the Ether Walker. I guess we'll have to go back and take a look at our list here while these teams are bouncing around. So we do have 2 going up there to the Blaze to deal with that. Now, Li Ming was that Ether Walker talent was unfortunately on the Volskaya, and they did not get a lot of value out of that. So hopefully that's not an indication. Blaze, don't watch that game. If you're going to watch any game, watch this game. It's double reset comp. As Genji's going to Swift Strike in, but he's going to get stunned. There goes the Anubrak stun onto the, what's her name again? Kerrigan. Yeah, that lady. Silence is going to slow down the Diablo, but he just is going to walk away. And finally, with the Stukov, I'm going to get to say it. We'll wait until it happens, but I'm going to get to do it in a match. Can't wait for that moment. Kerrigan and Raynor are going to go ahead and come down to the bot lane, get that cleared. The stun from Anubrak going out onto the Li Ming. As 2 for 1 here, Genji's going to get the Swift Strike onto the Blaze, pop his deflection, but Blaze has a lot of health, and he's got this fire to heal him up. He's okay. In fact, more damage seems to have gone out against them than they got, and the tap for Blaze to keep him up. Boogan squad coming out to get their camp going. This camp with the cleave armor. The armor reduction, rather. So two stacks for each cleave armor penalty. And you will see, I don't know if we'll see it on the observer, but if this camp makes it to a wall, you'll see that this does affect the walls as well. So if you get a good solid push with these knolls, you can take out a wall, a keep, what have you, very quickly because of that armor penalty. And there it goes in on the Blaze. Blaze onto the Diablo as he gets silenced. Now incoming the Anubrak gets the Impale, and there goes first blood onto the the Diablo. And unfortunately, it looks like Diablo getting just pummeled because of that disconnect, I would guess. Which is so unfortunate, and look at that. Boogan squad even feels bad as they get that kill on the Diablo, but you can't feel bad, you know. That's you don't know until he's dead and then drops from the game. So be it. And what are these snoozes in chat? Is that a snooze emoji? Is that what that is? Craigasm. What the heck is a Craigasm? Somebody tell me what a Craigasm is. All right. Hopefully we'll get a countdown. There we go. There's the countdown. Here we go. So everybody's back. Let's close that window out and see what's going on as the prison camps have started. And we've got another pause. Okay. All right. So they are going to go ahead and restart the Diablo. So we're going to be paused here for just a moment. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and take a look at the level 4 talents. So we do see the Burrow Charge talent for Anubrak here, and the spreading talent for Stukov, trying to make sure that he gets that cooldown reduced as quickly as possible, get that mana back. For Raynor, we do see the Behemoth armor, so he wants to stack that. Now take a look at that. Can you imagine a Raynor with 65,000 stacks of Behemoth armor? Holy cow. And there goes Blaze. How many people are getting destroyed in this? Holy cow. Let's see. And I can't even talk to them. So if you're listening, guys, apparently there are people on both teams now that are dropping. So, you know, apparently somebody broke the internet in the Midwest or something. We do see this oil dispersal, so it's a larger radius for that bigger slow. That's going to really cause these choke points to cause some havoc for the slower members of Stranger Pings. So, but who are the Stranger members, you say? Lily, I guess. Genji can Swift Strike over it. Carry can dive over it. Shadow Charge can pop over it. Ether Walker from Li Ming can completely ignore it. We do see the continued build into the Swift Strike and the slows coming out of our Lily here. We've got the auto attack life leech for Diablo, the Ravager quest coming in for Kerrigan, trying to get that additional damage. See a lot of her jumping on top of those minions, and the dominance from Li Ming. And she didn't get a lot of value out of that last game, but hopefully this game will give some back and forth and get some of those resets going. Alrighty. So red team is good. Apparently, I didn't see them come back, but I'm sure that they wouldn't lie to me about such a thing. So I don't know if we're still waiting on blue team. Ours is loading up. So we do have another moment here on blue team. Russia's attacking us again. What? What's going on in chat? I'm so confused. Oh, because of okay, I'm with you now. I gotcha. Don't worry. I'm sure that this is safe. It's not like it's a presidential election. Don't worry about that. Speaking of which, while we have this moment, do make sure that you take the time to register to vote and get out and vote in your local elections. The potato calling out for this Diablo. Uh-oh. I want to see some sprays and some B-steps when they get another kill. When they get their first kill. Right now there's just the one kill in the game. So while we're waiting on Potato to load, let's take a look at those standings here real quick. Just as a reminder here, so Boogan Squad now does retake first position in this Division D West standing. Stranger Pings is looking to overtake Sack of Bricks. Sack of Bricks does have one more match? Yeah, one more match to go. I can't remember against who. It's either Pigeon Stitches or Nexus Turds. In either case, they could retake that position. So we'll see what happens here after this game. And it looks like we are getting ready to go back in, so we'll flop back over. So we are here on this prison camp, just to remind everybody. And there goes the Blaze Oil, just checking that bush, trying to get the vision, but he catches the Genji. Now you got to be careful here with his deflect, because Genji on Flaming Oil can just go crazy with that deflect. The camp is being interrupted by Li Ming. They do get that shut down. Nobody paying attention as Akimbo on the Genji is at 30 health. He might be able to make it. It looks like he does, but Diablo's so low as he gets caught by the Blazing Stukov and he goes down again. You can't blame this one on the Potato. All right then, Rainer's going to channel that and they will be able to finish this up. They're not close enough to come back in and do anything about this. So the first cavalry of the game is going to go over to the red team, the Horde team of Boogan Squad. And Stranger Pings electing to pop onto this camp, try to get as much counter pressure as they possibly can to keep their structures alive. And we do see Boogan Squad flipping into 3 lanes, trying to get as much soak as they can and get as much pressure as they can into these structures. Just a quick pop-up here for the level 7 talents, if there's anything you're interested in checking out. Rainer pushing in the bot lane, he's going to get pretty good value with that cavalry, but this mid lane is going to go down very quickly to the Genji, Li Ming, and Kerrigan. And now Genji, Li Ming are coming down to Rainer, and he sees the writing on that wall. Kerrigan coming up to Blaze, maybe doesn't see that, gets caught by that Kerrigan combo, but Blaze says, you know what, I got some friends here, and he charges in on Kerrigan. Is not too worried about that one. In the bot lane, they do have that cavalry going down. Looks like it's all set, but the burrow charge in on the Kerrigan will finish Kerrigan as well. So now they do get this top fort and secure a kill. This camp in the mid lane is going to get some damage. I don't know that it'll get much more than maybe the wall here, but it is going to do something for them in the other direction. And Rainer now popping that in Inspire, trying to burn as much damage into this front line Diablo. Look out there, because you've got your back to a wall, and Diablo will just charge that. He doesn't care. But not right now, because you got the red team showing up to fight. They got some value counter to the cavalry. But take a look. They're at level 7 and level 9. Diablo charges in after the Jaina. He's going deep. Blaze misses with his stun and pops the Pyro. But everybody's going to make it out alive. So 4v4 in the mid. The Diablo charge onto the Blaze, pushes him into the wall, gets that big fat stun. Blaze charge stuns the Diablo in return as the silence coming out, hitting Diablo, and shut up Wesley as he gets silenced as well. The Genji Swift Strike managing to take out the Blaze. Well, Kerrigan did the work, or the kill, but Genji did the work. But Genji ends up dying to the minion wave as he tries to make it out. So a 1-for-1 trade, and now Heroics coming online for Boogan Squad. Any moment now. They're coming. One moment, please. Played the hold music. A little bit of elevator music. Made a little Bruce Hornsby out of there. If you don't know who Bruce Hornsby is, he's a fantastic musician. Been playing since the early to mid 80s. You should check out his new album. It's a little bit different. But anyways, the Heroics coming online. We've got Flailing Swipe for Stukov. We are going to get a boss play with this 10 advantage. We do have the Cocoon, the Hyperion, the Water Elemental, and the Bunker. The first time I've seen Bunker in a week. Second time I've seen Water Elemental. The last time it did not go so well for the team, so we'll have to see how it turns out for Boogan Squad tonight. Kind of surprising, because I feel like they have some pretty good setup. I think that they could have made value out of that ring. But we'll see what that pressure from that Welly can do. as in the top lane, that keep lane, they are going to get that boss pushing while they come in to capture this cavalry. Diablo in the bot lane soaking, I guess? Yeah, okay. And then it looks like Jaina is going to come over here, clear this camp, while most of the team has to clear that top boss. Zoom out so we can watch both of these here, as they will get the cavalry started. So there's not a ton of time. They can slow play this a little bit, but there's not a lot of time that they can hang out here. This boss has to go down fairly quickly so that they have enough time to get in and potentially rescue their prisoner and keep this from going straight over to Boogan Squad. And now here they come. They know that they're coming in through this choke point because they had the minion waves. And 5v4, but we do have the flanking Genji here. Blaze is going to charge in, hits nobody. The Kerrigan stun goes out, but the pop on her ultimate, which I apparently didn't tell you about, a little bit of a pause there in the game. Genji's going to finish off the Rainer. Welly going out, getting the damage on Diablo, but it goes down. The silence going out onto Kerrigan and Diablo. Diablo tries to get the flip, but goes down. And here he comes back in a few seconds with the souls. A Nubrak diving in, followed up by the Blaze stun, finishes off the Kerrigan and the Lili, and pushes that Li Ming back. Right now, 8 kills to 1. It is looking like a very heavy repeat of that game 2. And now they're pushing in with the cavalry in all 3 lanes. Rainer's going to push down that mid fort. There's no question in my mind he gets that fort. Because right now, Stranger Pings, I may be throwing out the wrong names. My apologies. Diablo punches Blaze into the well, but he's got Unstoppable getting just chunked down because Diablo has no health at this point. Kerrigan jumping in, but she's got to be careful. There's so much damage potential coming out of this, and they do have that cavalry. Genji's going to pop deflect as Diablo manages to get in on Mantis, the mage player there, Jaina, and Jaina's going to go down as the cup's coming out from Levy, trying to keep everybody alive, but there goes Genji. The Blaze stun onto Diablo puts them in the corner, and they go down. So now, I don't think they go for core here. This has still got 40 armor, and those are very short cooldown. Oh, that's why. Moosebrow was in the cocoon. I missed that. My bad. They're going to try to push for it. This is a lot of armor, and they are going to come up soon. And it looks like there's some questions. Some of the team is saying, I don't think we can do this. The rest of the team saying, maybe we can. But there's still so much armor thanks to these other 2 keeps keeping it in the game. And Anubrak's getting super low. He's got so little health. And in we've got the Diablo charge onto the Rainer, but booped away. Nice Q out of the Rainer, keeping Diablo from flipping him back into that fort. And again, on Alterac Pass, another DC out of Jaina. We'll see if we get a pause here. But on Alterac Pass, this core is just healing up. It's at almost full health now. So while they do have that top lane, it's only going to provide so much value. And there comes Jaina. It's only going to provide so much value. It doesn't really provide a threat like other maps until you get that second keep down. And then if you get 2 lanes pushing those Reavers, then you've got a problem. Both teams coming down to get their camps going, and Genji's going to scout out this bot boss. He wants to make sure that they're not there because he thinks they're coming. And it looks like they are. Diablo in the top lane. This is going to be a very difficult invade if they choose to do this. And they know they're there. Probably a bad idea, guys. I don't like this idea at all. And here comes the Welly going out. The Kerrigan gets put into her Chrysalis because she got chunked down so hard. Blaze is going to pop by. He's going to miss the stun as she jumped onto another player, but goes down anyway. Wesley getting slowed down. Whatever. Lili has got this water element to keeping her slowed. She gets the cups out, but gets destroyed. And Genji getting the swift strike out. 4v5 onto the camp. They didn't even care about the camp. They just came in and deleted you because you didn't have your 5th member, and they knew it. And now they will take this boss, and they will get most of the cavalry for free. But they do have a mid-camp pushing in onto a fort. It's better than nothing. But you got to make something happening. You got to make it happen. You now got 16. Let's take a look at those talents here. A little bit more CC coming out of the Jaina. I believe that's the root. Yep. You got more of the stun talent for Blaze. You got the give him some pepper % damage. So they got a scary comp here. And the resets on the burrow charge. And once again, going in 4v5, here comes Kerrigan a little bit behind. The flip from Diablo they get pushed away thanks to that Stukov lurking or arm. And the Blaze pops the bunker. He charges into Diablo to slow him down. But Genji with the Swift Strike and X Strike manages to finish off the Raynor, getting the resets for both Genji and the Li Ming. Li Ming trying to finish off Blaze, but Jaina finishes off Kerrigan in the back line. There we go. Words failing as Lily gets finished off by the Jaina in the mud pit. Akimbo on the Genji trying to finish off these super low people in the back, but there's Jaina all by herself on an island, and Genji gets caught out by the team. He can't get away. Ultimately, a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Boogan Squad. They managed to survive that, even as low as those I think Blaze and Stukov were. They were so very low, but take a look in the bot lane. This was a big win if you're Boogan Squad. This keep is down, and now you have 2 lanes of pressure for the rest of this game, and 2 lanes of pressure can cause you to lose the game just by not being there. And we did see in game 1 what that pressure did, and ultimately it put Stranger Pings in the position that they had to take a big hard fight and come back, and they did. But this game so far, they have not been able to do that. They keep going in with uneven numbers as they now get 16 and trying to poke their way to victory, but that's not going to work for you here. You've got to have a full commitment from your team if you're going to be successful. And it looks like that cavalry's going to be free, and they're going in 4v5 once again as Kerrigan will pop her ultimate. The Jugs coming out of Wesley trying to keep everybody alive. Genji's going to Swift Strike out as the Flaming Swipe keeps Cadet Legend on the Diablo pushed back into the team. And there goes 3 members from Stranger Pings and none for Boogan Squad. And if you're Boogan Squad, you're feeling pretty good about this. Even though Diablo's back, he has no souls. Raynor gonna try to push this down. They want to make sure that the core has no armor. They want to push this as quickly as possible. Blaze is gonna charge in. They're trying to get into that Li Ming, but they don't. And Nubrak's gonna stun the Diablo as he gets caught in that silence, as well as Genji. And 2 members now down for Stranger Pings, and this core is just melting as Kerrigan gets obliterated in the backline. And Lily getting the Raynor kill at the very end there to bring their kill count to 5. But with those level 20s, that is the game. Little bit better on your return kills here on behalf of Stranger Pings, but unfortunately just not enough to pull that swing like you had in game 1. And if you're Boogan Squad, this looks clutch. That first game was mostly in your favor, and you got a little bit too confident, but you came back in game 2 and game 3 and finished the job. So congrats to you on 1 more point for your standings, keeping you now at 25 points and in first place, 2 points ahead of Asmo Carey. Let's see if we can get Tom Peace in here. Or somebody else from the team. Whoever they want to send over, I don't care. I'm not going to judge. Let's go ahead and update our standings. So that was the Boogan Squad.
What's going on?
Welcome, Tom Peace, and is it Camp Bellas, I'm assuming?
Yes. You're like the first person to pronounce that right, I think. Yeah, for real.
I'm sure that I screwed it up in the game a couple of times. Maybe not. I don't know. It's late on tonight. Congratulations on your 2-1 victory there. How you guys feeling after that match?
Well, we were pretty pissed off about the previous game we played, and then the game 1 in this match here that we kind of threw there. But they had a good comeback there. We gotta say they had some really nice plays in that first game that really really brought them back. So feel a little bit better for sure. But we weren't too stoked about how we played all night, but we came away to win, so it's good.
For sure. And so for anybody that just watched this match, I know some people came over from the NGS and Mark Zombie's streams. So Boogan Squad did a double header tonight, and we were with them through all of it. And they lost to Asmo Carry 2-1. But in this game, you guys pulled it out. You were absolutely dominant, and aside from that unfortunate team fight at the end of game 1, this was 100% your match. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. For sure, I agree. I mean, that was probably the weirdest match I've ever played. That first one there, we were all talking about it. It was just some unfortunate plays, and the games against Asmo Carry. I mean, they just had some really nice hooks earlier on, and some really, really good plays from them that really led to a downfall snowball effect there for us. So
sure. Well, and so game 2. So you guys played the exact same maps in the exact same order, both.
Yeah, right? We did. You're right.
And it was different teams selecting, so it's not like it was you guys selecting the maps both games. It just worked out that way. So I was not surprised. I don't know if they were watching that first match. Well, welcome Ripsky. Is Ripsky on the team? Is there?
Yeah, I'm Bummernot.
Bummernot. There we go. I was like, who's this crazy guy? We got another person invading the lobby. Just doing lobby things. So I don't know if they were watching that second game that you guys had earlier. Since I get you here now, I'm going to talk to you about that first game too, or first match. That second game earlier, but those Kerrigan plays, like you only got to play the Kerrigan once, but there were some really solid Kerrigan plays. Who was it that was playing that? Was that Camp?
No, that was Michael.
Michael. Okay.
He plays a pretty good Kerrigan for sure, and I think people we're kind of realizing it, and they're banning him out a little bit, but we feel pretty comfortable with a couple other people, a couple of heroes that we can each play. It was just like I said, that first match was not the way we wanted it to go, and some unlucky picks for sure.
Sure, and so you play a lot of Alex Straza, it would seem. Is that something you just like? Is that your go-to?
Yeah. I love playing her. I play her quite often, but I'm pretty comfortable playing some other heroes too. And like I said, I think all of us here have a couple different people we can play pretty well. But that's definitely it's a good one for me for sure.
So that game too, there was a moment. I think I had a very similar statement in the earlier game too, but in this game too, very specifically, you guys are at that bottom control point. You've got all of your team there. Alex Straza gets thrown into the team. And I'm sitting there going, well, she's dead, right? There's nothing you can do to survive this. They have a Brightwing Poly. They've got a something else. She's just toast. You managed to make it out alive, and not 20 seconds before that happened, by the way, I said, this is where you get a near team wipe. It's not 1 for 1. It's not 2 for 2. It's 4 for 0. And thank you for making me a profit, by the way.
that play was insane.
Oh my! And it wasn't even on the control point, right?
Yep.
Because Alex got thrown, and then she just said, "Nah, I'm out of here." And then you guys just obliterated the team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I like taking the Cleansing Flame talent. I mean, I think it's just better. You have a lot more utility with it. You can kind of get some low health people on the enemy team. You can heal multiple people at one time, and then I can kind of escape from things like that. On that situation, I was just praying that I didn't get polymorphed right after that swap, because if I would have been, I'd have been dead for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
but yeah, these guys came in and really cleaned up for me there, and then made me look good there for sure.
So in game 2 and game 3, you guys banned out that Gul'dan and Tyrael in the 1-2. I felt like that was 100% the key to their victory in game 1, was getting that upgraded Sanctification and Horrify up to the Haunt, the bonus damage and armor penalty. Is that essentially what you guys were following too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we felt like obviously that game 1 was we were quite in control for a long time, and felt like we took some dumb fights that they just killed us on it. I mean, they just blew us up. The fears were separating the teams there, and then they were just able to focus on one guy and just blow them up. So yeah, the Tyrael and the Gul'dan, they were playing really well. We had to get rid of them for sure.
Well, fantastic job, and I do want to shout out your Kel'Thuzad player. I believe that was Mantis.
Yeah, that was him.
there were some points there where Kel'Thuzad was making Hanzo's ability to do geometry look like kindergarten math. I gotta say there were a couple of things that were missed, and okay, yeah, you can't get the Lily pull over a wall. But
yeah, I remember.
yeah, or the Brightwing rather, not Lily. That was game 3. So there were a couple of things like that, but and it took a while to get the stacks, but watching that game, and once he got that stack, that finished at that point that we just talked about, that 4-man wipe, and it was just Kel'Thuzad gets his stacks, game's over, pretty much. So
yeah, 100%.
You guys really did quite well.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no, these guys are good. We enjoy playing together, and they play really well. And we have some, like I said before, we have some comfortable picks, some comfortable combos that we like to do. And it was unfortunate the way the night started here, but we like playing with each other, and we think we're gonna do pretty well in the playoffs here.
So you guys, I'm gonna flip the screen over to standings. You can't see it yet. You'll check it out in 60 seconds here. You guys now are sitting at first place with the 25 points over the Asmo carry. Pigeon Stitches, technically speaking, can catch up in points. Did you guys beat them?
Yeah. I think this is the first, or to Asmo carry, that was the first time we've actually lost. We've lost some maps before, but we had not lost an actual game. That was the first game we had.
Wow, fantastic. Well, I'm not going to support the save all of your flex matches until the last possible week strategy, because you do put a little stress on your Div D moderator, just throwing that out there. But it did seem to help you guys obviously get a little bit more time to evaluate your opponents, and in this case, with you guys having the tiebreaker over Pigeon Stitches, then that puts you at first place. I don't see any other way that anybody else can catch you. Is that your understanding as well?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that wasn't the goal. This is our first time doing this for all of us here, like kind of playing on a team and joining the league here, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it. And to be honest with you, didn't realize how quickly that was coming up, the date there, the due date by all those games. So, but it made it interesting, I would think. It made it a little bit fun, kind of down to the wire here, and see who ends up in first and whatnot. So.
Yeah, you know what? As a player, it makes it interesting and fun. And as a moderator, you just sit there going, somebody's losing a bunch of points. So
yeah. I'm glad you. Hopefully you don't hate me for it. We were trying to get them all together there at the end there. So I'm sure you guys all understand. It's tough, everybody's work schedules and things.
Yep, absolutely. And we do. I mean, some teams haven't been able to coordinate, so be it. So now, with you guys being in first place, you'll be playing against the 8th place seed, which is going to be determined, I believe, tomorrow. As to whether Baddest Dudes or Disturbance is going to be in that position. Do you have a preference in who you played between those two teams? Do you even remember those games? I mean, it may have been a long time ago.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't really remember too much. I don't think we're too worried about who we were playing. Mostly, I think eventually we'd like to get back and play Asmo again. They were a good team there and some good guys over there, and we'd like to kind of redeem ourselves on that one. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't really remember those games, but I'm sure whoever we play, I'm sure it'll be a good game, and
Yeah, it looks like it's been quite a while since you guys played those, I believe. Actually, let's see. So 3 weeks ago for Disturbance, or 3 matches ago, I guess, for Disturbance, and Baddest Dudes was your second match. So it's been quite a while, and of course you 2-0'd both of those teams. In fact, it looked like you guys have been pretty dominant right up until Asmo carry, and then the heavy statement coming out from Asmo. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, they were a good team for sure. And as frustrating as the game as those were, we were. It's nice to kind of see that there, and feel a little bit of the defeat there, so we can kind of figure out what we need to do better going forward. And it's good. It's good stuff.
Well, fantastic job. I have one question, and I forgot to ask it last game because of the doubleheader here, that I always ask my guests to the show, which is it's just a lighthearted little thing, and you're all three welcome to answer. What is your favorite hero to play? Not necessarily your best hero, but the one that if you're just shooting around in QM, you just want to have a good time. Who do you play?
You guys go ahead and answer first.
I love playing Asmodean, just throwing those balls and just rip.
I'd say for me, I like Sylvanas a lot. I used to play her a lot when I first started playing Heroes of the Storm, and then once they changed her, I didn't really enjoy the changes at first, but I've kind of been getting into her a little bit more, and she's a lot of fun. But of course, I still love playing Alexstrasza a lot too, and there's a couple people, but I would say Sylvanas is probably one of my fun quick match.
Good deal. Bum, you got anything to contribute?
Stitches, hands down, hands down.
Fair enough, and you know what? It only takes it only takes that one hook on Alterac Pass.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know the
Even as
because you were the one that got caught, right?
Even as a Stitches player, that's my best character. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've seen that happen, whether it be playing in ranked games, just online, or Storm League games, and then or playing with these guys. Like, I don't think that's ever happened to us. And
No.
to be honest with you, I was so shocked. He almost escaped there because he
Almost
dove
did.
through the wall.
Yep.
I threw a heal on him, and I should have popped Dragon there, and we talked about it a little bit after. I was a little frustrated that I didn't, but it was just so like unexpected. It just happened so fast. I was like, oh my god.
Asmo Carry had a handful of trick plays like that caught me off guard. No.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was a fantastic match. I loved casting it. Kudos to you guys for sticking out, playing late, getting these matches in. And you know what? After what had to be a frustrating game one of this match, pulling it back and saying, no, we're okay. We got this. We had that game and just needed to finish the job, right? So good job on that.
Absolutely.
I thought I was going to say one other thing. So I do have to ask you guys that Stitches game on Alterac Pass. So I noticed right at the beginning, Stitches was using the Cuddle Bears skin. Did you guys happen to notice that?
Yep. Oh shoot, that's actually a banned
It
skin.
is a banned
Wow.
skin, yes. And I was gonna ask you, like, did you feel like the putrid bile, because that's the reason it's banned, probably for that map specifically, was a big challenge? Because I mean, I knew it was there, and I could barely see it because the color of the floor is basically the same.
Yeah, 100%. That's the only reason we lost, no matter what. No, it's all good. To be honest with you, I didn't even realize it.
He had really good hooks. That's what. Yeah, I didn't really catch that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually funny you said that. Yeah, we talked about that. I think probably, I don't know, a couple first games we played about the skins, and then we haven't talked about it since. So, yeah, those hooks were the deciding
Couldn't
factor
really-
for sure. I
Definitely couldn't really see it, but yeah, it wasn't the bio that won him the game.
No, absolutely not. I just wanted your opinion as people who were playing in the game at that time, if you felt like it was a contributing factor, or if it was just another thing.
It was
Absolutely.
funny.
Or if
yeah,
you even
I
paid
didn't even
attention to it.
realize. Yeah, I to be honest with you, before we even joined this, I didn't even realize that some of the skins did those things. Like, I guess I don't pay enough attention. I probably should, but yeah.
Well, go back and watch the streams. Maybe there are one or two things you pick up in the comments or what have you. It's 12:30, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. The floor is your guys for any shout-outs. Go down the list, however you want to do it.
I'd just like to shout out the boys here. It was an interesting start to when we first started playing together, kind of figuring out the right way to play and what maps we liked. Heroes that we could combo together, and I think we enjoy it, and it's been a lot of fun here so far. We're looking forward to moving forward and play.
For sure. Same. Kudos.
Yeah. Thanks for casting us, and really looking forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, good casting, man.
That's cool. I agree with that. We've been pretty excited to be able to go back and watch some of the streams and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun to go back and listen to what some of you guys have to say about some of the plays and other people watching too. It makes it a lot more enjoyable.
For sure. And you got to tell your friends to be more, active in chat. I try to push them. I try to get them to say stuff and be happy and give you all the props, and they're just like, nah, snooze fest.
Yeah, we had some playoff hockey games on tonight, so some of our boys were probably watching that instead of us. So can't blame them.
Good deal. Well, I'll get these replays posted, so they'll be up in well, not the replays. I'll get the VODs up, so they'll be up on YouTube. You'll see them in the chat, but you can catch them on my stream. Which, if you go to the calendar and I screwed it up, just add in twitch.tv in front of it. It's the same deal. So
Sweet, man. We appreciate it.
Right on, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Congrats on the 2-1 victory tonight over Stranger Pings, and your extra point at least out of the Asmo carry, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Boogan Squad 2, Stranger Pings 1, we are ending our